Bobby's tragic final chapter. Zack Sutcliffe reflects on Hollyoaks' exit, shock death, and his emotional journey in the village. The village of Hollyoaks has been left shaken after one of its youngest, most troubled characters met a devastating end. In a week filled with mounting tension, secrets, and bloodshed, Bobby Costello's journey came to a sudden and brutal halt. His final scenes aired in a shocking twist that left fans reeling. The man behind the tragic character, actor Zack Sutcliffe, has now broken his silence, sharing personal reflections on portraying Bobby, his decision to take on the short-term role, and how he feels about exiting in such unforgettable fashion. The final blow. Bobby's death unfolds. After weeks of evading justice, escaped prisoner Bobby Costello found himself entangled in a deadly web. Viewers watched in horror as Bobby uncovered the darkest of secrets. Serial killer Jez had taken the life of Ian, Bobby's kind-hearted social worker and one of the few people to ever believe in him. In a desperate attempt to conceal his crimes, Jez resorted to unimaginable violence. During Monday's episode, he viciously attacked Bobby, killing him in cold blood in one of Hollyoaks' most harrowing scenes in recent memory. The brutal murder not only ended Bobby's chaotic storyline but also marked the close of Zack Sutcliffe's time on the Channel 4 soap. For fans, the emotional impact of Bobby's death was compounded by the redemptive arc the character had slowly been undergoing. Despite his past, many were hoping Bobby would find peace, escape danger, and start anew. That dream, however, was shattered in an instant. Zack Sutcliffe on Bobby's exit. I knew he was going to die. Though viewers were stunned by the sudden death, Zack himself had been prepared from the very beginning. Speaking exclusively about his exit, the actor revealed he was fully aware his time on the soap would be brief and tragic. It sounds a bit morbid, but I've done this job 11 years now, and I've yet to die in anything, Zack admitted with a grin. I've been dying to die for years. Zack explained that when the opportunity arose to portray Bobby, he was informed up front about the dark conclusion to the storyline. I knew beforehand, before accepting the offer, he said. And I was just really excited about it. What makes it even more exciting for me is to look in the comments sections online and see people being like, I hope Bobby gets away. I'm wishing all the best for Bobby. Meanwhile, I know he's going to get his head bashed in and they're going to be heartbroken. Zack's enthusiasm for playing a character with such a defined arc, particularly one that ends in death, speaks to his passion for challenging roles. And for the actor, portraying Bobby was not just about screen time, but about storytelling with impact. A return to the village. From Tommy Bradshaw to Bobby Costello. Longtime Hollyoaks fans may recall Zack's earlier appearance in the soap. In 2021, he featured briefly as Tommy Bradshaw, a patient of Cleo McQueen's. Though that storyline was limited, it gave Zack a taste of village life and sparked his interest in returning in a more significant capacity. The last time I worked with Hollyoaks, I was pretty much strictly delegated to a hospital bed, and I was laid in this hospital bed for the entire shoot, Zack laughed. And this time round, I've literally done a tour to Hollyoaks. I've been running around everywhere like a madman, it's great. Unlike his static previous role, Bobby's story took Zack into the thick of the action, crossing paths with dangerous criminals, emotional family showdowns, and gripping chases. It was the kind of dynamic material most actors dream of, and Zack embraced every second of it. Portraying Bobby. A complicated character with a haunted past. Bobby Costello was never a straightforward character. The son of Mercedes McQueen, he had long struggled with the weight of his traumatic upbringing, abandonment issues, and violent tendencies. Over time, viewers saw glimpses of the broken child behind the hardened facade, particularly in his vulnerable interactions with Ian and moments of reflection about his past. Zack spoke about the challenge of portraying someone as complex and morally gray as Bobby. He's such a layered character, Zack explained. You can't play Bobby as just a villain or a victim. He's both. He's someone who's experienced deep trauma, and that's shaped the way he interacts with the world. At times he lashes out. At times he protects. There's always this tension. Will he do the right thing or spiral out of control? That ambiguity made Bobby a captivating presence on screen, and Zack's portrayal brought an added depth to the role. Fans found themselves torn, disturbed by Bobby's actions, yet still desperately hoping he would find redemption. It's always more interesting to play a character people are unsure about, Zack said. Those are the characters who stay with you. Bonding behind the scenes. Zack's praise for his co-stars. While Bobby's on-screen journey was tragic, Zack's experience on set was anything but. The actor spoke warmly of the cast and crew, many of whom helped shape his experience and made his short stint truly memorable. Jen Metcalf, who plays Mercedes, is lovely, he said with admiration. She's actually from my home estate, so she felt like a little slice of home. Zack also highlighted the powerful dynamic he developed with Jeremy Sheffield, who plays Bobby's killer Jez. Jeremy was a phenomenal actor, Zack shared. Getting to see his process and all that kind of thing was great. He brought so much menace and charisma to the role, it made my job easier. When you're doing scenes with someone that intense, you're forced to rise to the occasion. Another standout for Zack was Sherry Hewson, the beloved actress who plays Martha. Sherry, Queen. A beautiful, iconic lady. I'm in love with that woman. She's such a professional, but also so funny and warm. Everybody was just so great to work with. His admiration for the ensemble highlights the supportive and collaborative environment that Hollyoaks fosters, even when the storylines dive into the darkest of places. Fan reactions. Heartbreak and outrage over Bobby's end. Bobby's death has triggered an emotional response across social media, with fans mourning the loss of the troubled teen and expressing outrage over his violent demise. Many had hoped that Bobby's storyline was building toward redemption, perhaps a reconciliation with his mother, or a chance to escape Jez and start fresh. Instead, the character was robbed of that future in a brutal twist that left even hardened viewers stunned. I was crying. Bobby didn't deserve that ending, one fan wrote on X, formerly Twitter. Another added, they did Bobby dirty. He was trying to do the right thing. His death was so unfair. Zack, for his part, has taken the reaction in stride, proud that the story struck such a strong emotional chord. If people are upset, it means we did our job, he said. Bobby was never meant to be an easy character. But if you cared enough to cry, then we connected. And that's all I could ask for. A legacy in the village. Bobby's impact on Hollyoaks. Though Bobby is now gone, his presence will undoubtedly linger in the Hollyoaks narrative. His death will reverberate through the McQueen family, likely sparking questions, blame, and perhaps even revenge. Mercedes, in particular, will be left grappling with unbearable grief, and perhaps guilt for the role she played in Bobby's life unraveling. Zack reflected on Bobby's legacy and what he hopes the audience takes away. Bobby wasn't perfect, far from it, but he was a product of everything that happened to him, Zack said. He's a reminder that even the most troubled people have stories worth telling. And maybe if things had gone differently, if he'd had the right support sooner, his life could have been different. What's next for Zack Sutcliffe? Now that Bobby's story has come to a close, Zack is looking ahead to future projects. With an already impressive resume that includes Waterloo Road and now a standout performance in Hollyoaks, he's eager to take on new challenges. I want to keep pushing myself, Zack said. More intense roles, more interesting scripts. I'd love to do some film work or maybe something historical. I've always wanted to wear armor. For now, though, Zack is savoring the experience of playing Bobby Costello, a role that demanded emotional depth, physical energy, and absolute commitment. It's been one hell of a ride, Zack concluded. I wouldn't change a thing. Final word. Bobby's goodbye, but not forgotten. In a soap where death and drama often go hand in hand, Bobby's exit stands out for its poignancy and brutality. Zack Sutcliffe's performance added nuance and heart to a character many had written off, and in doing so, left an indelible mark on Hollyoaks. As the village reels from the latest tragedy, one thing is certain. Bobby Costello's story may be over, but its impact will be felt for a long time to come.